want it to be better.
No.
Yes. You have to do it again.
No. Learn yourself.
I can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Mm-hmm. It's just like riding a bike.
You don't learn how to ride a bike. That's also not a song about riding bikes.
I think we watch different movies.
It's funny you say that.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's kind of something that I was hoping to talk about.
Is it?
On this episode of SMSoup. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SMSoup.
The number one podcast with soup in the name, but not on the brain. That's Spencer, and this is Shelby. I pointed to each of us. The voice you're listening to right now is Shelby. And we're here to take you on a journey, an adventure, a quest, if you will, where we ask the important questions. Like, but not limited to, waiter, how is this soup made and why won't Grogu stop cleaning himself? Those are the two questions we tend to ask.
What a cat. What a guy.
Yeah. If you hear any crinkling, which I hope you won't, but if you do, we have Grogu has a new cat ledge thing, like window ledge, that is right above our recording stuff, which might be smart, might be the dumbest decision we've ever made. But yeah, if you ever hear a loud crash, you know what happened.
Yeah.
Spencer,
Mike's a little fuzzy.
Oh,
funky.
Fuzzy.
Funky.
How are you, Spencer?
I'm good. I'm gonna have to.
Oh, great. What'd you do?
Hang on a second. Hopefully this is gonna work.
I like when you say that mid recording. Always confident. Oh no, he doesn't know how to work a cord. Oh no. It's just so hard to use cords. Oh no. It's all broken.
Really great job vamping there.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I hate this thing that like it's like perfectly in the way of like where I need to plug my mic in.
We could probably just get you a new cord that doesn't have a big block on it. You probably have one.
Yeah, I guess that is probably the main issue, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh my
God. Bother me. I'm so sorry.
That's probably the most annoying sound in the world.
Okay, I'm good now. I'm sorry. All right. I'm good. Things have been good. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, we wake up, we work, we go to sleep.
Wow. So. That's life.
Crazy. And there's no better options.
None.
This is it.
This is what
we get.
This is life.
How have you been, Shelby?
I've been good. I mean, basically everything you just described definitely doesn't make me hate anything in life. But otherwise, what? Why are you squinting at me? But otherwise...
This entire past week, you got to like sew and stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully it's all for something. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that's fair.
I have been sewing. I've been sewing for about the first half of the day and hopping on my laptop for the second half of the day. And one, I definitely screwed up my shoulders. So that's exciting. But two, I have the worst posture in the world. Two, yes, I have been sewing and prepping because I have my first Charlotte-based art market
this coming weekend.
Yep.
It's exciting.
Yeah, where I showcase both paintings and upcycled clothing is what I do. So all of my clothing was very New England fall winter. So I've been trying to crank out a lot of more summer friendly
100%.
materials and ideas, which I'm feeling pretty good. I really want to. I have too many things I want to try to do, and only a few days to do them, which tends to be a big problem for me. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm realizing my guess is we'll actually probably have to record before because you have a market each day
And
this coming
basically
weekend.
all day.
And they're long, yeah. So
yeah,
the recording after that, hopefully we'll get to hear
how it went.
Some fun experiences.
Yeah, they're like, I don't really like know good words to say this that don't make sense to people who don't vend at these things. They're definitely not like your typical market.
Yeah.
Like they're not a like oh, you're in the middle of the city and there's all these all the like white tents are propped up. Like it's not that typical. They're gonna each be a little bit more specific for a very specific audience.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to try it. And yeah, we should be
fun.
able to report back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's exciting.
I mean, yeah, unless we literally recorded like Sunday night, but that would suck. I'm going to be exhausted.
We're not doing that.
But yeah, very excited. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work there. And trying to find a fine line of, you know, consistent branding, consistent packaging, I guess I'll say, without needing it to be that important. Because I mean, this is almost a little counterintuitive being that I literally work in marketing, but I think sometimes people get so caught up in those details that you spend so much money and resources and time like to that I'm like, is it really worth it? And like some people say yeah, and that's fine. I think it's more about what you're actually selling than like how it's packaged. But yeah, I don't know. Trying to elevate without it being like everything I focus on.
I hear you.
Kind of the name of the game for this week for me. So, yep. But I mean, my brain, I still consider that like waking up and working and having a lot of shit to do.
100%. I think
I know, but it's arguing that like I want to be doing it, which I hear you.
I hope you want to be doing it.
I do.
I can't say much. I play video games while I work sometimes, so it's not necessarily that like. I don't think everybody who complains about work is necessarily complaining about like the work that they do.
Yeah.
It's simply the like time
cycle.
suck.
Yes.
Right? Like it doesn't matter if I don't have any meetings and I don't do anything on a Friday.
Right.
It's the fact that my laptop has to be open for on a Friday. You can get you know how the work from home life is. You can get away with it. But you know what I mean? Like it's the fact that you like just need to have it like open and like you're still like some semblance of on call and like in that you're just not mentally free yet. And
I think
that's really what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a bit of the somewhat endless cycle of it that really makes it feel not fun. So yeah, I think I'm also like getting a little anxious because one, they're my first markets in a new area that I don't know. Whereas like Boston, I was confident. Like I was like, I know this shit. I know where I'm going. I know who I'm going to talk to. I like people, like I started to like recognize people. People started to recognize me. Not even saying I like got even that high or like crazy into like connections, but like was
we've only gotten high once.
Good. Felt confident. And so that part has me a little worked up, but also I'm just like, there's always that mental fear of like, did I just spend the past 2 weeks on this for it to all be like a bust? That's kind of like the biggest anxiety. Which, you know, some will just be a bust. Like it happens. I've had really, 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 really shitty markets. And oftentimes it's out of like the vendor's control. Yeah. So
you've also had some really good ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't keep doing them if I didn't enjoy and sometimes do well. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I miss them. I miss doing them. Yeah. Yeah. Although it has been fun going to them and not being a vendor. Yeah. We did that a few times because I was trying to get some little lay of the land. Although I haven't been to either of the ones I'm going to be doing next weekend.
Of course.
Whatever. But
Get a lay of the land.
Yeah.
Of the thing that you're not doing.
I'm just trying to get a lay of the general market vibes of Charlotte.
Why are you going to New York City? Oh, really? Just to try and get like a lay of the land. Oh, are you moving there?
No.
But I am moving soon. Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
We'll see. Anyway, enough about markets that no one literally cares about.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Very few people can relate to that conversation.
You and I were talking about like, what should we talk about this week? And
our usual day before conversation.
Yeah. And we had kind of settled on, we haven't talked about this stuff. And we actually watched quite a bit of things here of late. And so we were kind of like going back and forth on like doing that. But I actually think we should shelve that and talk about that next week.
Okay.
Along with Mission Impossible 3. Because, we're going to be. And that's not to say I have something great this week, but
I have some confidence, man.
I just had this like realization when we were having conversations throughout the week that amidst both of us living in very much the same world, because of the current like society and greater world that we live in, we both also simultaneously live in separate worlds.
Yeah.
And like there was just this like very clear moment of that, like and there's different things, right? Like so like I like video games a lot, to like an obsessive amount, and so I know and like get all the video game news and stuff like that,
right?
And like you like video games, but like you don't get.
I mostly hear about really indie artsy games,
but
that's the only thing that enters my world.
But you're not getting like
the
Activision Blizzard drama, the Microsoft like
I normally
FTC lawsuit,
can't even discern between the company.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and that's like something that's like consistent, obviously, and like you with art, like I never get fed any art content, but this week you brought to my attention multiple times this like drama that was happening.
Yeah, I love talking about this.
Within
a TikTok community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just how you were describing it to me. Or like what was actually going on, but it felt to the extent like it should have crossed my path in some way.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, but
just because it just felt like one of those things where somebody did something so stupid.
Yeah.
And like they were so clearly in the wrong.
Yeah.
And people love to dogpile on that.
Yes.
And so that's why I was just like, I cannot believe like I actually still have yet to like you kept giving me updates and I was just like, I still have not seen like one thing about this. And it like kind of shocked me.
Yeah.
But
I
also get it because it was technically like art related. And so like it's not that surprising. But my question to you is, do you know anything about the like
I already feel like the answer's gonna
be 90s European pop new song drama?
No, not as I don't even know what any of that meant.
And that's what's so funny, because that has been the thing that like I would say is like very clearly is like the big
really
like
I haven't even heard of this
hot button drama. And you almost never, I feel like, see I
don't really see I can't say I use social media for news. Like I don't like in the very we all for a few years there were like, I don't watch the news. Don't worry, I get it from social media. I can't even say that.
Yeah.
Like I have created my safety bubble
yeah.
of like happiness, which tends to be small businesses, mostly artists, fashion designers or stylists, like only that. It's all art based. It's all generally independent creators, and it's generally just like DIYs or like new tricks of the trade, program updates for like Adobe. Like it's normally shit like that. with then like I would say I have some like political activism stuff in
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but like so I hear about that, but I have nothing news, nothing
Yeah.
pop culture,
So-
nothing.
Like Bean Dad, you didn't know anything
No,
about.
didn't know
The Cinnamon
anything.
Toast Crunch Shrimp,
Nothing.
you knew nothing about.
Nothing. I'd never even crossed
You
my
like
page.
you never hear about any of the milkshake ducks,
No.
which is a term for these types of things where something blows up,
Yeah.
people adore it.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh my god, look at this duck! It loves milkshakes."
Yeah.
Then you log off and you come back 3 hours later, and suddenly everybody's turned against it, and there's a headline that says, "Breaking: Milkshake Duck Nazi."
Yeah, I've never seen
Like,
anything
or
like
Nazi
that.
sympathizer. And it's like always that. Like Bean Dad was like, oh, like he I don't remember, so I don't want to like defame anybody, but nah, fuck it. So the Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy for sure, I know.
I remember
had, like,
you
some-
describing that.
He had some sort of like
a shaving in his bag, right? Like a
yeah, but like I'm
screwed
saying
up
like
thing.
the guy, he like blew up because of this.
Yeah.
And then everybody came out and were like, oh, he's like an abuser.
Oh,
Like
cool.
I don't know if it
Not
was like
cool.
physical abuse or anything.
But he sucked, is what we're
But
saying.
mentally, I'm pretty sure he definitely like
Gross.
was
Okay.
an abuser.
Yeah.
And it's just like stuff like that, and like you never hear about any of these,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so funny because like you're
No,
telling me,
I'll be honest. If that any of those scrolled across my page, I'd probably unfollow whatever was posting it because I'd be like, "Why the fuck do I need to see this?" Like, I genuinely like. I would be like, "I don't need to this." Like the fact that I had something in the drama realm, which I'm not like trying to beat around
are
the
you
bush.
gonna unfollow me?
Do you post about these?
I don't
things?
post about it, but I tell you about it.
Oh no, I don't care about you
I'm
telling
posting
me.
directly to your face.
I don't care about you telling me.
I'm posting-
I don't want to go on social media and see that.
I'm posting, and like the spit from my mouth
is
is hitting
slapping my
you.
skin. I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. I don't care about hearing about it like from a person or being like, "Wow, this crazy thing happened." I just like if that was like bombarding my feed, I would be like, absolutely fucking not. Like this is stupid. I can't believe I actually had almost a week's worth of drama to fill you in on because normally I'm like, nah, fam, this is all really stupid. Or it like doesn't envelop a world I'm a part of enough to like invade my entire like feed. Oh, what I was trying to say is I'm not trying to beat around the bush about like what the drama was. It was really stupid. Like I swear to you, it was stupid. Like didn't matter. Was just
That's
dumb.
all, but that's all.
I
internet
know,
for
but
now.
I just like I don't even feel like rehashing it because
Yeah.
like it was so stupid and it's deemed over currently. Like the two parties seemingly worked it out. I'm not a fucking part of it. I'm not a commentary
Oh, you're not?
person. I'm not attempting to be a commentary channel.
I thought you were in on it.
literally like reading a few things, sending them to you, going, "Oh my god, is that crazy?" And then I fucking move
Yeah.
on. Like that is the extent of my involvement in drama.
And I'm a little drama slut. I love it.
You're like scrolling through the feeds and you're like, "Oh my god, can you imagine what this fucking person said?" Yeah, you're like updating me. So it was actually really funny that for once I had something to update you about. But we kind of started talking about this. I think it was during a stream like last week or something because I was updating you. I think that was when I first told you about the drama because I find it so funny. I was a part. I enjoyed YouTube and specifically beauty YouTube at the time of Jeffree Star, Manny MUA, blanking on everyone's
Basically,
names,
like
James Charles.
right before,
like the big Tati,
and then everything exploded.
everything like went to shit, like which people would argue for years it was like a compounding problem, which I totally can see and like don't have a personal say in, but yeah, as a consumer of content, I could agree. And it's so and that was definitely a very like wide scale drama. Like tons of people who didn't know beauty knew about the drama. Maybe that was because there was a lot more money involved, a lot more bigger names. Who knows? But like, it's so funny, these like falls of communities. And that doesn't mean they don't exist anymore, but like all these little inner community dramas. And now like TikTok has them. Like apparently there was like book talk drama, which I don't even know about, but like they were like, "Oh no, is book talk falling apart?" And I was like, what the like it's so crazy. It's so crazy, these little bubbles we end up in, which I get why we end up algorithmically, I get why we end up in them. These little bubbles form where these like few, let's say like 8 to 10 people fly to the top, they run the fucking place. One thing happens, whether deemed wrong, good, whatever. And everything is just like hell then. Like it's literally just like you don't even want to talk about the content anymore because it's not even about the content. It's about the people who are like doing this to each other, doing that to each other, or like ruining the community. It's just fucking crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me. And so I think like when I was like so exposed to this, I was like, wow, I'm like in the middle. I'm not in the middle, but like I'm like seeing like this whole like, oh no, these top people in the community fighting. Like this is for like one of the first times for a long time that I'm actually like seeing it. And it was just weird. Like it was so weird because like for 3 days, my whole feed was just like commentary, this and that, receipts, blah, 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 blah. And not by the two people who were involved in it in any capacity.
And you ate it up like a little gremlin.
I did eat it up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like I definitely got into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking crazy to me because you live in this little microscopic bubble. But like if I would have said that drama, like I know you get it because you also like see drama, but like if I would have said that to anyone else, they would have been like, who the fuck cares? Like who the fuck, like put down your phone, like put your phone away, like please, like you clearly need to get off your phone.
The problem is that they would know exactly what you're talking about and be like, oh my God, isn't that crazy? They wouldn't tell you to put your phone down.
I think some people tell me to put my phone down. I think it's a hint to put your phone down.
That's what's insane. Like so many people like I don't know. Like I feel like I could walk up to somebody and be like, have you seen the European pop song thing on Twitter? And they would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Not doubting you. Are you going to tell me what it is? Or you're just saying it's because it's something crazy I don't know about?
It's just crazy that like it's very much like the thing that like so this guy, I don't know his name and I really don't care that much, but like I think he like made a TikTok and then like he like reposted it on Twitter basically. Just like a clip from it. And it was like supposed to be like a stab, like this is what every 90s European song sounded like.
Okay.
And it's exactly what it is. Like it's exactly what it is. It like nails it. And it's like this girl and she's singing like the like very clearly like female part and then like it like goes to like the verse and it's him. It's like she's the chorus, he's the verse. And then like they're like I think they were in the I forgot where they filmed it, but they like filmed it in like a fairly public place. So there's like other people around, but like the filming's done extremely well where like it feels like a pop like music video. It like cuts and it's like perfectly lined up with their like lip syncing and everything. So like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of work went into it. It's done very well.
There's also clearly like basically a parody.
But it is a real song that he's like nailing, hyping it up.
Okay.
And less than a week after that got posted, or maybe it was a full week after, maybe it was 2 weeks. I don't really know. I mean, people were retweeting it and stuff and like quote tweeting it. And he didn't even caption it or anything. He simply posted the video and somehow it just like blew up and like people found it and then started retweeting it and everything. And like 5 days after the video was posted, somebody would have some like thing to say about it and tweet about it. It was great. Like a lot of people were like, this is really funny that this is like full circle because like when I worked at like a news outlet 30 years ago, like we would have tracked these people down and like had given them a full page interview in a magazine. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then like just a couple days ago, he posted, it's the same song. And he posts a new video because they filmed it like somewhere else. Like they filmed it in a different location.
Okay.
It's a different girl.
Okay.
In the music video.
Okay.
She sucks compared to the first girl in terms of like dancing and like
performance,
video presence.
Yeah.
And everybody turned on it so fast. And like some people are pointing out that this is probably genius marketing. And two, people think he did it because like that was a very big trope, I guess, of like Europop is like the girl constantly gets replaced.
Oh,
and it's always just a guy. It's always like a guy and a girl duo, but the girl's constantly being replaced.
Swapped out.
Yeah, or whatever. But like, I guess that's a thing. And it's all fucking people are talking about. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit. Like this guy has gotten so much like internet clout And right when he's on the cusp of like becoming obsolete again, because that's what happens on the internet,
Right.
he does one other thing that keeps him relevant.
Yep.
And it's insane to me.
Yep.
And it's insane to me that like you haven't seen anything.
Nothing.
It's
Haven't
so
even
funny.
Heard of it.
I just find that fascinating.
Yeah.
I like think that's so funny that like something that seems so prevalent and so like
everyone's talking about
now.
it. Yeah.
But you're right. Like I could walk out. I think just simply because of how much I've seen it that if I walked outside and I said something, like somebody would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you're totally right that like honestly it's probably a 90% chance that they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It just feels like so integral into like what my zeitgeist is for the past week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I don't know. I simultaneously love and hate it.
I love it. I think it's very funny. But to of course be the person, like I also can totally see how like bad it is. Like as if we haven't all seen like the internet literally puts you in like effectively an echo chamber.
Yeah.
I know both of ours are like that we're citing are like pretty much harmless. Like they're just like
and I don't necessarily always mean drama. Like and it's not always necessarily negative news or anything like that. It could just be literally anything.
Just like what people are talking about.
A guy beat Elden Ring with a saxophone. What the fuck is up with that?
What the fuck is up with that?
Like that's insane.
There's saxophones in the game?
No, like he played a saxophone to play the game and beat it. And I don't think he got hit was like part of the headline.
That's like the whistling arrow guy in Guardians.
No, it's like playing a saxophone to play a video game and doing it without getting hit. That's the only thing you can compare it to because there's nothing else to like you can't possibly compare that to anything else. But like you have no idea like anything about that and like that's awesome. Like that's like awesome. Cool news, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like kind of great. I think I land that it is actually a good thing.
That I don't hear about that?
No, like that, that, like you can be so like in your own world, but not need to be physically in like a place.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the great part about it.
I think that's like one of the biggest reasons the internet is as big as it is because you've found like your communities of like-minded, interested people, and I mean yeah, that's literally like. If I was bombarded with like all this other shit I didn't want to see, I wouldn't go on the internet.
Right.
I wouldn't go on it to the amount that I do. Clearly, like they figured out, oh, if we show people what they want to see, they'll never leave.
Yeah.
Like, that's really the secret.
And with that, we'd like to say goodbye to SMSoup, and Shelby and I are no longer going to be touching the internet for the rest of our lives.
Because no one wants to see SMSoup.
Yeah. That's the main reason.
Yeah, it's funny. It's very funny to think about. Yeah, and you either know, literally, if you know, you know. You either you know about it or you don't know about it. And it's kind of just this two parties.
Yeah.
And so it's really funny when, I mean, it happens all the time. Like, if we're talking to, like, my sister or a friend, they're like, oh my God, did you see that? And, like, there's a really high chance I didn't fucking see it. There's millions, billions of people on the internet all saying shit. A lot of them just trying to like get attention. It's crazy. So like truly the odds of someone else seeing what you've seen are like kind of pretty low.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It is
absolutely nuts. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to like
it's very funny.
Talk about that because it kind of just dawned on me.
Yes.
As you were telling me about your silly little like drama in your little world. Like
yeah.
And yeah, I just knew like you knew nothing about this other thing, and that was funny.
But at the end of the day, sometimes it's all we have to update each other on.
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it's great that we can have our own little worlds without needing to actually be away from each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2.
If somehow you're listening to this as your first episode of SMSoup, Shelby and I are doing a watch through of all the Mission Impossible movies to prepare for Dead Reckoning, Part 1.
Which
we're huge Mission Impossible fans.
Might be dumb.
Yep.
I can be dumb. That's fine. I didn't realize until maybe yesterday that Dead Reckoning has Gal Gadot in it. Didn't realize she was in it.
I also didn't know that.
I just saw a preview for the movie for the first time yesterday.
Thanks for the spoiler.
They literally highlighted her and not even Tom Cruise.
Mm.
I didn't even know it was an ad for Mission Impossible for a second.
Are you sure this isn't for Wonder Woman 3?
I'm positive.
And
now I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bummed out.
We're rewatching all of them.
Yeah, sorry.
To prepare for Dead Reckoning.
Which I'm now a little less excited for.
Because we love Mission Impossible.
We do love
and
Mission
it's been
Impossible.
forever since we actually watched all of them. I can't tell you the last time.
I feel like we did a watch through in like college.
I don't think we
prep
did.
For the Henry Cavill one.
I don't think we did.
For real? I feel like I did.
I don't think you did.
Agreed.
But maybe.
I feel like I did a watch through like within the past handful of years. Has it still been a really long time? Yeah.
So anyway, we're on Mission Impossible 2. Next week will be Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
The following week, Mission Impossible 4. So on until we go and
one.
see Dead Reckoning and we talk about that.
Yeah.
So there will be spoilers for that one.
There will be. Oh, yeah. There's going to be spoilers for all of them.
Yes.
Most of these movies, minus the new one, are all like years out.
Yeah. I mean, even Mission Impossible Fallout, which is the one with Henry Cavill, which is the newest one before Dead Reckoning,
That was like 4 or 5
came
years
out
ago.
in 2019, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
There will be spoilers on all of them.
Saz.
And by the time we get to Dead Reckoning, you'll have had like 2.5 months to go see it.
Fallout might have come out in 2018, I'm realizing.
I don't remember.
That's crazy because we graduated in 2019 and
I
it was
know.
our senior year, but it was like before
The spring.
Yeah, so it was like it was in the fall.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So, Mission Impossible 2. So we saw Mission Impossible 1 last week. Mission Impossible 2, we're going to be ranking them as we go.
Hell yeah.
What were your thoughts on Mission Impossible 2?
Mission Impossible 2. I did take notes.
Okay. Good for you.
My main takeaway was that I like reading my notes as I wrote them. Because I literally put like clearly like what is that called? Just like conscience, whatever. I put, it feels like all the cheesy action stuff, but done worse this time. Just too over the top. Any of the cheesy action sins that could have been forgiven in the first movie were just not the move this time. It felt like, which I don't know, I'm not like looking at numbers. It felt like the first one did well enough, clearly. And they were like, oh my God, this is our new, like, we got a thing going on. Let's bump it even further.
Mm-hmm.
The like fighting scenes were just like too dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't like effective. They were just looked like, let's make him move as many times as physically possible in the most ridiculous way possible. At one point I literally put, what are the moves supposed to be that Tom Cruise is doing? Like, is it like Tai Chi? Is it like what the fuck even is it? Like, it doesn't make sense. There's not like a consistency. It just feels like, and do this, and do that, and do this. And it looked insane. Like, it just looked crazy. So that was like my main takeaway. But I did know, I was like, clearly this movie went to the fucking top with the whole face and voice replacement, which becomes the theme for all Mission Impossible. Like, that's like, I feel like their top, like, if I'm remembering off the top of my head, I feel like that becomes a very, like, this is our thing, is like, you can become anyone, even though it all focuses generally around the same, like, 4 people. So this one went way too much with it. It was, like, kind of, like, insane. But it was fun that it, like, introduced what I feel like becomes, like, the top used, like, spy tool for Mission Impossible. What did you think?
I thought that, like, the general, like, story of it was, like,
it was fine.
Probably, I would almost say probably better than the first one.
I liked the purpose.
Like, the
more.
plot and everything is, like, I'd say it feels better. But yeah, I feel like the execution of the overall movie and the shots and stuff like that were, like, kind of meh.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, like you said, like, some of the fight scenes, like, you have this, like, opportunity in, like, a movie like this, and I think they end up doing it better, obviously. And you, like, and maybe this is, like, the first movie's tough to go back and watch simply because special effects have gotten so much better. Maybe this is, like, harder to go back and watch just because, like, we've been spoiled with like
Oh,
fight scenes and stuff
probably.
like that. That like
100%.
in a I'll just say very much made for Shelby and Spencer action movie are
Yeah.
just like so much better now
Yes.
than like. So anyway, I don't know if that's some of it.
Correct. Totally could be.
But yeah, like it's just like, all right.
Yeah, I guess
get
like
it. Come on.
main storyline of Mission Impossible 1 was like Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise.
It's just your typical like
he's
spy
been
in a team, is framed. He's now a rogue agent.
Yep.
Needs to clear his name.
Yeah,
like
that's the whole concept.
Been done a million times, and like I don't know how many times it had been done before that one, and like
Right.
It's a fine way to kick off a series and everything. But
it
like
introduces you to like INF. It introduces you like to little things like that. And like you're like, oh, again from 2023, you've seen that plot a million times, so it's like not the most exciting. Mission Impossible 2 is basically like there's this
it's like a bioweapon, like a disease that can be like a super spreader, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was manufactured, and of course like certain people want it so that they can make money off creating the vaccine and blah blah blah, and like basically a whole like money grab, but with obviously like the fate of humanity in in the way.
Which has also been done before.
It's been done before, but like it
or has been done since.
Yes.
I can't discern which, but
correct.
But yeah, like
was more interesting than than Mission Impossible 1 plotline.
I would also say though, like kind of the fun of these movies and like and maybe it's just the newer ones again, like it's so hard to remember because I can't even tell you how many times I've seen like each of the Mission Impossible movies. For Mission Impossible 1 and 2, this might have actually been only my second watch of each.
Oh really?
Like it might be.
Yeah. They're definitely my least watched, but I know I've seen them each a few times.
And I just feel like with these types of movies, like the fun of it is like the ensemble. And the first one you can kind of get, like he has the ensemble and then like it all goes to shit. And it's like,
now he's by himself.
And now he has to like, work that out.
Yeah.
With the second one, it's like he has no team. And like the whole like message is like,
find your team. Yeah.
The whole message is like, oh, like if you are one of your team members, like it's in the like recording, right? Where it's like, if you or one of your team members is caught or killed, like
we will deny. Secretary of State will deny
all
knowledge of.
Yeah. And it's like, what team? It's literally just him.
Yeah, and they literally say you can select 2 team members plus I'm already blanking on her name. Plus you have to choose Thandoi Newton, her character. I'm saying your name right. You have to choose her, so you ultimately have a team of 3 people besides yourself.
But like for most of the movie, it's like him, and then it's him and her.
I know.
And like Luther's there.
Yeah, Luther's in the background. I know.
But there's not like this like we're all working together. It's like Luther's literally just the man in the van.
It's also really funny because I, in one way, was kind of excited because I didn't recognize the other guy that was chosen. And he clearly was like basically useless the whole movie anyway. I couldn't recognize him because like he clearly isn't someone who sticks around.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of like Luther's a base.
Yeah.
And moving forward, it's like, as I find my definites, I'm going to keep choosing them. I like that idea because, again, I said this last week, like, I'm so excited to see the end team be built because I love the end team. But yeah, the team was so unimportant, so unimportant, which like sucks because I think that's also just like the difference in storytelling is like now the team is like the baseline of the story just as much as Ethan Hunt is. So, yeah, I agree.
I do think that, like, in the second one, they do, like, the typical, like, okay, like, now it's going to get to the point where, like, we have to get in and we have this, like, finite window or, like, ability to, like, do something. So in the first one, it was, like, you can't even, like, drip sweat, basically, because, like, it would, like, cause something to go off, right? Or, like, make any sound. And then with this one, it was the 40-second window that he had to like fly through the vents, get down, release his rope, and have it get up before they closed.
Yeah.
And like that, I felt like was actually better in terms of like I felt more anxious in that tight window than I did for the entire first one where he's like just hanging like so low.
Yeah.
and like everything is like dead quiet and also extremely well done. So there's like parts where I'm like, yeah, this is like actually a little bit better than the first, but like overall as a whole,
Yeah.
it just felt like there was like,
It felt like
it felt like you had
too hard.
you had something really good and you
Yeah.
could have like made something amazing and you like kind of whiffed.
Yeah.
And because of the whiff, I think it like hurts it more.
Yes.
And I think I would agree that this movie is, I would say, worse than the first.
I would agree. Yeah.
The only cool thing about this movie was Tom Cruise's hair. Great
so
hair.
Long. It was
And
in his eyes half the time.
There were 2 scenes during fights where the one he like does his like typical Tom Cruise run up and then like drop kicked the dude.
Yeah.
And that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was just so fucking
Some of
funny
those
to
were
watch.
Insane.
And then the other, the 2 things that were cool were 2 slow motion shots during fights. The one he like got the guy down and the guy was like laying on his back and he like did a like somersault like front flip and then like dropped his leg
onto his chest. Yeah.
onto his chest.
Which was so stupid.
So overdrawn, but I was just
know.
like, that was badass. And then the other one, this one was actually really cool. It was when he like did like, I believe the wrestling move for it was called a Shining Wizard, but it's like when you like run up somebody's knee and then like kick them in the head, and he like did that. And they also shot that in slow motion, and I was like, okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just like a lot of them were cool, but it felt like let's add in every move we've ever seen ever.
But that's what I mean. Like some of that's like we've been spoiled for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. Also about Tom Cruise's hair, there was definitely like 2 or 3 shots where like when he did something, all of his hair would fall into his face, like literally over his eyes, and then the next shot would be like from his back, and you could tell it had all been brushed and like fanned back out of his face, like restyled basically, which was so funny. Like I literally, there were moments where I was like, wow, really? We were like, this is the hair, like this is it. And then it would clearly get in the fucking way, or it was used to make him look like he'd done a lot of exerting. And then the next second, it's all like windswept out of his face again, like perfectly like.
I wish I was joking. I literally think this is the look. I think his hair looks so much better in this than the Mission Impossible one.
It looks good, but it's like, it was just really funny.
Looks very boy band.
It was, yes.
It looks good. I don't know. I like it.
It was just funny. It was funny, some of the transitions where like clearly he needs to look effortless again and like cool and like we can't actually have his hair getting in his face. So it was just really funny, the quick transition of like, oh my God, he just like worked so hard and now, it's all of his face. It's okay. A little bit of hairspray fixed it. That was really funny to me. But my first question was, did Tom Cruise actually do that climbing stunt in the beginning of the movie? Because he's noted for like doing all of his own stunts, right? So I Googled it and quote IMDb.com, the trivia section for Mission Impossible 2. The famous rock climbing sequence was filmed at Dead Horse Point in Utah. Tom Cruise was on cables, which were digitally removed. Ron Koch was the climbing double, and the overhang stunt was performed by main stunt double Keith Campbell. The director for the movie was John Woo, and I guess this is where Tom like really started pushing to do his own stunts, which maybe means he didn't do that many in the first one.
I don't think he did early on. Like I think that's more of a newer thing.
Yeah,
is
well,
him
apparently
doing his own stunts.
this movie is where he really started pushing for it because like basically it's the last trivia is Tom Cruise and John Woo clashed over some of the stunts because Woo wanted to use stunt doubles and Cruise was adamant about doing them himself and he didn't like quote cheating. And he said it's too easy to notice when a double's being used.
Sometimes it is.
It is 100%.
It's harder now, but when you like go back and like watch older things, it's
you can tell.
Super obvious.
You can normally just tell by how the camera is being framed because they're doing everything in their power to not show the face.
Yeah. But even still, like
yeah, I do agree. But
there's just so much to notice.
He didn't fully do it, but I'm sure they came to a compromise. They clearly came to some compromise because he did a lot. You saw him for a lot of it.
He is literally an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, 100%. So he did do parts of it, swapping out with doubles for that. Also, fun fact, the first cut of this movie clocked in at 3.5 hours, and Paramount Pictures was like, absolutely fucking not. You cannot exceed 2 hours. So they said that's why there are so many plot holes and continuity errors. I was like, no, I think it's just not good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's a story
I mean,
issue
maybe but if you need an hour and a half
of extra shit
to tell your story, like,
what
come
else
on.
was gonna be in there? Like, I literally, yeah, I obviously, like, I don't. Maybe there'll be like a director's cut, but like, what fucking else did you need in there?
Yeah.
Like, I really like story wise. Like, I was like, it's good. Like, don't really need anything added. I think we're good. Pacing was pretty decent. Like, no need for an extra hour and a half.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, fun fact: the female co-star, Thandui Newton, was cast prior to the script even being written because Tom Cruise's then wife Nicole Kidman heavily suggested her.
Interesting.
Because they had done Flirting together in 1991. Like Nicole Kidman and Thandui Newton. And so she was like, use her.
Interesting.
She's great. Which I love that. Also, Doug Ray Scott, the evil guy in Mission Impossible 2, was going to play Logan/Wolverine in X-Men 2000, X-Men from the year 2000. And when filming for Mission Impossible 2 went over schedule and he was injured in a motorbike accident, which that motorbike scene was the most painful thing I've ever watched, the very end of the movie, he had to drop out and was replaced by Hugh Jackman.
Wow.
So that would have been our Wolverine had he not been injured in Mission Impossible 2. Which, yeah, that motorbike scene, I hate it. But I swear it was the last 8 minutes of the movie.
It was so drawn out. That was like where like had issues.
There was
like
also
drawing out
no
that
sound besides the motorbikes.
Which I'm fine with.
I was okay with it for about half the time. And then I was like, okay, if I don't hear anything else, like I'm going to go a little crazy.
I actually think that is like, I really like that. I really like when like movies lean into like whatever is happening.
Yeah.
And like, that's fine. But like,
it was too long.
Literally, like, so like the way I think about it is like they're in the one episode of Barry, they're on dirt bikes and it's a chase scene and all you hear is the dirt bike and Barry is like going like the highway traffic is just stopped and he's going down the middle of the lane and as he's passing cars it's all their radios playing, so you're just hearing like as he's going, and it's awesome. It's so badass and it's quiet otherwise. There's nothing else, like maybe a gunshot here and there, but like that's it. That's all you hear, and it's so like immersive and badass, and like I'm totally down with that. But like, yeah, when it's like 8 minutes, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, it was way too long.
All right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a good chase scene.
It wasn't satisfying.
It wasn't like they're not going through like the streets of Italy and like crashing through like market stands and stuff like that. And like there's not like other environmental sounds happening. It was simply just the motorcycles.
Like, yeah, you're effectively in the middle of nowhere. You're chasing each other. There's a few quote unquote close calls, but then you immediately go into another long chase. Like, instead of it just being like, okay, 2 close calls. All right, now we're fighting. It was like this super fucking long thing.
I am really excited because we are now just one movie away from getting to like current Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And it's the last of like the old ones, and it's with Philip Seymour Hoffman. And so I'm like so pumped.
Yes. Yeah. If I like vaguely remember correctly, I do think like 2 is generally deemed the worst.
I think it is.
Do think I'm probably going to agree with that. Again, parts I liked, but like it just
had bones.
We got a little too excited. We got a little too into it.
So you're saying 1, then 2.
Yeah, I am for sure.
All right.
But
I think I agree.
I mean, it's still really fun to go back and watch them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally excited to keep watching the series.
Me too. So next week we'll talk about Mission Impossible 3. We're also going to be talking about some other stuff that we've been watching here of late.
Yeah.
I guess people should recommend stuff, right? Like,
sure.
Right?
Yeah. Anytime.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I'm going to talk about me rewatching Project Runway.
Yes. That next week is the time to talk about it.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Hey, thanks for having me.
Pleasure was all mine.
We should do this again sometime.
Next week?
We'll see.
Okay.
Bye.